This chat walks you through your final project, Experimenting with Activism. Just going to show you really quick. If I want to access the assignment, go to Content, Assignments, and then Final Experimenting with Activism. And it really is what the title says. It's an experiment. It's a short foray into activism to give you a flavor and an idea of what it's actually like to produce social change. Bell Hooks says feminists are made, not born. Like all political positions, one becomes a believer in feminist politics through choice and action. And that was what I was thinking about as I crafted this assignment. It's kind of my motivation. Um, so, if you look here, my objective is that feminism is, among other things, a collective project for social change. Your final project asks you to experiment with becoming activists on any issue related to the course content in Women in Social Action. You can participate via an existing group. Okay, so if you wanted to get involved with, let's say, Planned Parenthood or the Campaign for the ERA or really a campaign to end violence against women, anything that you are interested in, you can get involved with them. The other option is to collaborate with your classmates to develop an action, or even contribute individually to a social justice issue that affects women. I hope that this will help you think about how you're going to engage with your communities and society after you finish the course, so that it's an introduction, but it's also, now that we've learned so many about so many issues facing women in the world, that now you feel like at least you can make some incremental change as you go forward. So let me review the directions. You'll use material from the course to design and conduct an action that intervenes in existing social inequalities. Again, you can choose to work in groups or individually. You can choose to partner with an existing organization or strike out on your own. Regardless of what you choose, each student will compose their own 5 to 6 page account and reflection of the action. Okay, so step 1, select an issue. The issue that you select should be connected to global women's issues discussed in the class. It doesn't necessarily need to be one of the issues covered in the class, just something that is connected. So human trafficking, discrimination in employment or the provision of services, LGBT rights, stereotypes in advertising and media, violence against women, birth control. These are all examples of issues you might choose to address. If you have questions, ask me. Most likely the answer is going to be yes, please go ahead. And particularly if you feel passionate about a social issue, this is a good opportunity to work on that in somewhat of a structured context, and in a way that maybe you would like to continue working on it after the class is over. Step 2, design an action. So, and for those of you participating with an existing group, you'll need to figure out exactly what sort of contribution you're going to make to that group, right? But you might, for instance, write and publicize an open letter, conduct a consciousness raising session, initiate some sort of digital media campaign, even pass out handbills, or petition a local politician. You can really do any type of action you would like. The only caveat is that you need to provide documentation. So in other words, proof of your action as part of your final paper. So I know for some of my students that has been in the form of photographs. If you write an open letter or a petition, I'll simply need a copy of that. That's pretty easy to do. And again, if you have questions about how to provide proof or documentation of the action that you took, please contact me, because I'm really interested in helping you develop these projects as a start of something that hopefully you will continue pursuing. Now, the crux of it is to describe and reflect on the action. Okay, so we're starting to think intellectually and apply concepts to this small activist project, our foray into activism. So in a 5 to 6 page paper, discuss your action, describe how you selected your action, the impact of the project, and your reflections about the project and your contribution to the group. Okay, so that was a lot. So you really want to provide an assessment of how you did, but also give me kind of an overview of the issue and why you selected that issue, why you chose to do what you did concerning that issue. Now, if you do choose to work in groups, or if you're working with an existing group, I also want you to reflect on the group dynamics. Did you help the organization? If you choose to work in groups among yourselves, then how did you do as a group member? Did you contribute? What was the group process like? What could you have done better? And I also encourage you to incorporate any kind of creative documentation, photographs, video, a small website, whatever you would like. But if you do choose to, I did have one group of students who said, well, we're going to do this, but we're going to make a website so that everyone will be able to access it. And I said, yes, that's wonderful, but you do need to still include all the information you would include in a traditional paper, include citations, things like that. So it will need to address what you did, how you selected your action, the impact of your project, and your reflections about the project and group process where applicable. Now, this is just a start, so as we go through, I will also provide you with a detailed rubric, but let's start throwing out some ideas. I will be up in the coffee house if anyone has any questions, and I hope that you will have a lot of fun with this assignment.